Hey, it's Christine Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another reaction video. Like the video on your way in, let's get straight into it. So this video was actually sent to me from one of you guys via email. So just a reminder, as I always say at the end, in case you click out before you watch the end credits, I guess. You can send me videos to react to via my email is probably the best way to do it. And I will get round to them. So yeah, let's check it out.
Let me say something that's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. And by a lot of people, I mean women. So a lot of us men, if not all of us, here in the West, were raised by women. But we were raised by women who didn't actually like men.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you're not in a single parent household, the way most Western relationships work these days, this is from what I have seen, you know, in many couples. It's a matriarchy. The woman runs the relationship. The man just sits there and shuts up because, well, happy wife, happy life. And there's just no respect for the father. The father is not the leader of the home.
And now I don't mean just your mom, right? I mean the entire ecosystem. Moms, teachers, counselors, therapists, daycare workers, church staff, you name it, you know. We were told by those same women to grow up and be a gentleman, to be kind and respectful and protective and safe. We heard that a lot. But there's a caveat with that. You were never to be too assertive, right? Never too confident or too masculine. In other words,
basically, females have engineered what they believe to be the perfect man, and yet they're still unhappy. Funny that.
Be the thing they hated, just behave better. Let me repeat that. Be the thing they hated, just behave better. I mean, of course, the first woman who ever loved you, it wasn't your girlfriend or a crush. It was your mom. Or maybe she didn't love you. I don't know. So, I mean, because those exist. So, especially the ones that really hate dudes. But yeah, I mean, let's say, you know, your dad was either gone, he was weak, he was abusive, or, you know, disrespected in the home. I mean, that love came with strings. So, and those strings are that men are dangerous, right? They're selfish. They are the problem. And you may have heard, don't be like your father. You didn't just learn that love had conditions. No, you learned that you, as a boy, were guilty until proven safe. This wasn't love, not at all. It was early stage programming. That's what you experienced, and it taught you to be ashamed of your masculinity and to be ashamed of it before you even understood what it was. We were told to control our emotions. You were told, hey, control your emotions. Control them. But you weren't taught how. You were taught to simply suppress them, especially anger. Never let that cat out of the bag. You were told to respect women, but not to respect yourself when a woman disrespected you. You were told to be kind and be gentle, but you weren't taught how to say no without fear of rejection or punishment. Plain and simple, you were not raised to be a man. We were not raised to be men in this country, in this culture. We were raised to be safe for women, to be safe.
It's just a further extension of the disposable male, isn't it? Except now, instead of being a disposable male in the form of, say, a warrior and someone who is just collateral damage, a soldier, etc., etc., now it is you are the disposable male that is simply the playthings of women. When I say everything in society is tailored to and for women, I mean everything, including the men in that society. The whole of society is built up for women, for the protection of women. It's men who do all the hard jobs. It's men who go out and fight, but also in the home. That saying, happy wife, happy life. Who's at the center of that? The woman. Boys are taught the same as girls from a young age. In institutions across the board, typically masculine traits are punished and feminine traits are rewarded. Men are told it's not okay to be a man from the day they're born. And it is very rare, it happens, but it is very rare for a boy in the West to grow up in a home where being a man is taught without consequences. Because even if you are the best father with the best intentions, how do you go about teaching a young boy that it's okay to be a man? Because really and truly, it's not. It's not okay to be a man in 2025 in the West, is it? We want it to be okay. You know, people who understand the difference between men and women and understand the benefits of, you know, both feminine and masculine traits. We want that to happen. But if we focus on what's here and what's now, today, it's not okay. If a husband tells his wife, no, I'd prefer it if you don't go out with your friends on Friday night. I would much rather you be home with the kids and I, and we can do something as a family. Well, she can turn that into he's manipulative, he's controlling. She can report him for domestic abuse. You see, so how do you go about teaching men that it's okay to be men in 2025 in the West when they can literally be penalized for anything, even if it's with the best intentions, because women can twist it into something that it's not? Why? Because the whole system is tailored to and for women, so they can do what they want with it. And yet again, we have a generation of disposable males. They might not be on the front lines fighting. They might not be being disposed of that way, but disposable nonetheless. Marry this one, have kids, divorce, take the money, move on to the next. The guy may not be physically dead and, you know, physically hurt, hopefully, but spiritually, emotionally. Yeah. Disposable males. Again, the cycle continues.
For women. And if you stepped outside those lines, you got hit with the ultimate insult. Possibly. You're acting just like your father. Right? You heard that one before? You're acting just like your father. But let's talk about numbers here. Let's talk about, school for a second. Over 76% of K through 12 teachers in the US are women.
Mm-hmm.
In early education, it's over 90%. From the moment you step into a classroom, you are placed in a behavioral system designed by women, for girls.
Mm-hmm.
Boys they're just outnumbered, they're outcultured. You're expected to, sit still for hours, use your inside voice.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, I remember that.
Never interrupt. No, never talk back. Never challenge authority. Always be obedient. But what's actually happening is that normal male behavior is being pathologized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're, I've heard this one when I was 9. If you're too energetic, you have ADHD. My 9th grade teacher, Mrs. Tinsley, thought I had ADHD because in the middle of social studies, I learned how to do this and was super excited about it and kept doing it. So And I didn't have ADHD. I was just
a young boy. It's sad, and I do see this frequently, unfortunately. And it's the women that do it. It's the mothers. My kid's got ADHD. My kid's got this. My kid's got that. And I'm stuck between, is it the feminine has gone into overdrive and that need to nurture and to care has gone into overdrive? So you're thinking, well, if I can diagnose it as something wrong, then I can tackle it and I can fix it. But if I'm being honest, I don't think it is that, because I don't think that's typically female nature, because that's logical, right? That line of thinking in itself. If I can make something a problem that I can control, then I can fix it. That's logical. So that's probably not it. If we're being honest with ourselves, think about it the feminine way, completely irrational, completely led by emotion. I can say my child's got something wrong with them. I can be the overbearing mother because I can then have control. Not control because I want to fix it, but control for manipulation. And I hate this. I hate the fact that I'm having to say this because I don't like it. I don't want it to be true. You know, I actually don't hate women. I really don't. I hate the way that we can act sometimes. And I can hate the way men can act sometimes. But, you know, this is a part of female nature that, if gone unchecked, will go down this pattern, because it is more illogical. It is more led by emotion. And we are more prone to psychological and emotional manipulation. We are. Just as we're more susceptible to it. But, you know, you're talking about women here. We're talking about boys. It's a child. So they're susceptible to it too. This happens a lot. I see it a lot. And it is this dark, dark nature that women have. We all have it. We all have it. And it has to be checked in the same way that a man's violence, a man's capacity for violence is very dark. Very dark. And if gone unchecked, very dangerous. You know, we all have to have this self-awareness about us, because none of us are perfect. None of us are. We all have the capacity for evil. And for women, this is it. It is this dark, twisted, insidious manipulation. And it's disguised in, you know, you look at cluster B personality disorders, it's disguised in this victimhood. It's so clever almost, because it's disguised as, I mean, it's just nature working at its absolute finest, isn't it? Men can't play the, you know, sinister, go under the floorboards kind of role, so to speak, if we speak metaphorically here. Whereas women, you know, we can go under the radar, because who's going to suspect an innocent little woman, this frail, fragile little thing that can seduce, that can, you know, charm in a different way to what men can. So it's just, it's something that's here and has gone unchecked for a while. And I often wonder, looking back over the last sort of 100 years, was it ever in check? Because when I think back to, say, 100 years ago and how society was, you know, society was still built for women, but it was, you know, women had less rights, whatever. Doesn't really bother me, but regardless, it was like women were put in bubble wrap. It was built for us, to protect us. No, you stay at home, darling. I'll go to work. I'll do everything for you. I'll fight for you. I'll make sure you can look after the kids and you're in this safe environment. And I can't help but question, were men naive somewhere along the way? Or was it just unknown that women have the capacity for darkness just as much as men do? Did women play the role of I'm nothing but pure, innocent and good so well that we hypnotized men into creating this society for us so that we could infiltrate it? I don't know. I'm obviously thinking on a collective level here and trying to analyze, but do we think that men knew that women had this capacity for darkness? And is that how we've gotten to where we are? Because now we're in a position where the darkness in women is out. It's everywhere. It's blatant. For those that have eyes that are willing to see, it's blatant. we're in a position now where we know that this is something that needs to be checked. Again, for those that are self-aware enough to reflect on this. But I wonder how we got to this point. I really do. But back to the point that he was discussing, yeah, you'll see that these ADHD and autism diagnoses have gone through the roof in the last few decades. And there's no coincidence that that has got something to do with the amount of women that are in these institutions.
Oh, he's just a 9-year-old. So hats off to that doctor. But yeah, I mean, you're assertive. That means you're aggressive. If you disagree, that means you're oppositional. And if you're fidgety, then you're disruptive, right? And what happens to boys in this system? They adapt by shrinking. Mm-hmm. I've talked about this. They rebel and get punished for it. Either way, the message is clear. Boys, your nature is a problem.
Yep.
By the time you hit adolescence, your default mode is appeasement. Say sorry when she's upset. Do whatever makes her comfortable. Never raise your voice. Never assert your needs. Never take up too much space. Don't be manspreading now. You're not operating from strength. You're performing for approval.
Yeah.
Because deep down the programming says if you're good enough, she won't leave, and if you're soft enough, you'll be safe, right? But that's not love. That's fear-based compliance, just dressed up as virtue.
That's really deep. It really is. Yeah, fear-based compliance. That's a powerful one.
The same women who instilled this fear told you to be a gentleman, right? Ironically enough. Hold the door, pay for my meal, protect her, listen without speaking, sacrifice your needs. And then in return, disrespect when you set a boundary, accusations when you assert yourself, emotional manipulation when you withdraw, and rejection when you stop playing nice.
It's just breaking my heart because I'm just thinking, like, imagine if a woman was saying this. I can hear the feminists now, but we were saying this. It's really sad. The whole thing is really sad. This guy is putting it in a really real, raw way.
See, it was never about mutual respect. It was about behavioral compliance, okay? You don't get applauded for being a good man. You get used. You get used and abused until you stop performing. And, we talk about feminism like it's somehow confined to just college or social media. But its more formative influence happens at home. It happens in the home. Single moms projecting their unresolved anger at men onto their sons.
Yeah.
Married women belittling their husbands in front of their kids. Daughters that are learning to be dominant and sons learning to submit. Mm-hmm. I mean, you grew up thinking that love meant being agreeable, being needed, being useful. And now as a man, I mean, this day and age, man, you're saying yes when you want to say no. You let women walk all over you. You try to be the safe guy, right? And wonder why they don't respect you. You've been domesticated, dude. You've been tamed. You've been turned into a service animal. And dude, emotionally neutered men, they can't lead. The system just creates overthinking men, over apologizing men, under-respected men, men with no fire or voice or edge. Men who ask for permission to simply exist. You don't know how to lead because you were never allowed to in the first place. You don't know how to confront because you were punished for it. You don't know how to hold frame in a relationship because the only frame you know is make sure she's happy or you'll lose everything.
Yeah, I just keep coming back to that phrase he used, fear-based compliance.
A lot of men are just walking on eggshells in relationships right now, especially marriages, where they have everything to lose in the marriage and in the divorce, whereas the woman has everything to win and to gain from both. But yeah, you were told masculinity is dangerous and that strength is oppression, that assertiveness is aggression. But the truth is that the absence of masculinity is the real danger.
Yeah.
If you want to see real chaos, go to a school with no male teachers. Go to a...
It's true. Because I remember when I was at school, okay, like it was the majority women. But more often than not, when the class, and you know, you had these days, you guys just wouldn't listen. Typically a female teacher. A male teacher would always come in and calm the class down. Always. Without fail.
Household with no strong father. Go to a neighborhood where men are absent and boys are raised by the state.
Yeah.
You don't get order. You get complete and utter dysfunction. And why? It's because there's something missing.
Men bring order.
And no, ladies, it's not empathy. It's edge. It's masculinity. That's the antidote.
Yeah.
Not the disease.
Yeah.
So men, you want your strength back? You want to break the spell? The voice in your head that says, you know, don't make her uncomfortable, don't be scary, don't take up space, don't make her mad. Dude, that is not your intuition. That's programming, dude. That's your programming. You are not here to be a pet. You're here to build and to protect and to lead, to say no and mean it. You don't need her permission to be a man. You need your own conviction. I mean, we got to talk about healing without simping. So yes, heal, but stop confusing healing with neutering. Healing isn't turning into an emotional golden retriever. It's not crying for attention or saying I'm in therapy like it's a badge of honor.
The victim card. Yeah. And I think this is very common in men who were raised by single mothers, is that they learn the female tactic of manipulation. And because we live in a world where men are typically neutered, and the way that this can play out is essentially it's a woman pulling the strings, right? It's a single mother that's raised a son, and they have filled this son with all of this shame of being a man, but also taught them how to manipulate. Consciously or unconsciously, who knows? That guy will go out and play the hard done by role. Nothing goes right for me. I can never find a good girl. I can never find a job. Everything is just really, really bad. And the world is the source of his problems. He has no accountability. And presented with opportunities, he never tries. What happens? He meets a girl. Girl obviously falls for that. And he acts like a woman. Woe is me the whole time. Never takes charge. Expects the woman to take charge. Complete victim. And they are situations that can get very dangerous because that guy in his mind is acting like a woman because he's been raised by a woman and purely a woman. He's never had a male role model. So you then have a guy with capacity for violence behaving like a woman. So it's like the dark in both genders mixed into one. That, I would say, those kind of men are probably the dangerous of all men. Because they are completely unhinged. They have the irrationality of a woman, but they still have the capacity for violence of a man. And it's typically those guys that end up becoming, you know, your serial killers, your gamblers, addicts, alcoholics, whatever it may be. And it's those guys that are actually dangerous. But we have to go back to the root cause, which is there's not been a good, solid male role model, because like he's saying, it's masculinity that is the antidote to that chaos. But if it's been treated like a disease, you're creating one hell of a monster there.
Healing is regaining your power. It's learning how to feel anger without shame. And it's learning how to love without losing yourself. Learning how to lead without apologizing for it.
Yeah.
You don't heal by appeasing. You heal by confronting. It's action. That's the action that needs to be taken. Plainly put, you weren't raised to win. You were trained to lose with grace.
Yeah.
To get cheated on and stay quiet. To get disrespected and be the bigger man. To get alienated from your child and be grateful for scraps. To carry everyone's burdens and call it strength. That's not nobility. That's servitude. With a smile. So if you feel confused and bitter and angry, good. Good, your soul's waking up. Rise and shine. You're not broken. You're not toxic. You're a man who finally sees what was done to him. You're finally seeing it, man. So yeah, fellas, if this hits, send it to another man who's been, sleepwalking through his life. He doesn't need another lecture. He needs to hear the truth. It's time to stop chasing her approval, fellas. It's time to stop apologizing for being a man. You were built for more than this. We were built for more than this.
So I just checked out this guy's channel. He's called Dad Mode in Dark Mode. And just on a quick, scan of his channel, I'm just reading this bit. I explore Christianity, faith, and morality through the lens of Carl Jung, Friedrich Nietzsche, and lived experience. And yeah, I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold. Seems like he's got some really interesting videos here that I am excited to check out. He's got almost 3,000 subscribers now, so definitely go check him out because, yeah, I think it's a really good channel. It seems like he's got his head screwed on. It also says he's a single father as well. So yeah, I am not a guy, so you guys are going to have to obviously discern for yourself how relatable this guy is, but that moved me quite a bit. And I think he's out to do something good. I think he wants men to start taking control of their lives, which I think is a good thing. And I'm never going to be able to do that myself because, well, I'm a woman. What the hell do I know about anything? of what it means to be a man. So yeah, go check him out. Dad Mode and Dark Mode. Really enjoyed that video. I don't think there's much more else to add. And I don't really want to take away from the heaviness of the video by adding my own, you know, thoughts. I think I've said pretty much what I think the whole way through. So now it's time to let me know what you think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comment section below? As always, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up on your way out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to make sure you keep up to date with all of my content. And as I mentioned prior, you can send me a video for me to react to via my email address. It's probably the best way to do it. I do have social media accounts as well, and if you'd like to consider donating to the channel, you can do that by clicking the link in the description at buymeacoffee.com or becoming a member right here on YouTube. I'm really trying to build a community here, so all of your donations really do mean a lot, and I'm hoping in the future to have a much more interactive style on this channel. So yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you very soon in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.